What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, trying to play catch up on all these card reveals Konami is slamming us with, especially the ones from Rage of the Abyss, the next core booster set coming after the Infinite Forbidden, which I believe is dropping in the TCG about the third week of October. Konami has showed off some legacy support, like 6 Samurai stuff. There's this new archetype that I am very excited about, which I'm talking about in this video, the Primordial archetype. So I got a bunch of stuff to play catch up on. Basically, just check this channel out over the next week or so, and I should be cranking out those videos. Anyways, this archetype Primordial kind of reminds me of Spiral Phantasm. If you guys remember that archetype from Maximum Crisis, where Konami was basically forcing you to play vanilla monsters and work with tokens before, you know, Adventurer came along and kind of made it cool. You were playing that archetype, and the field spell basically did everything for the deck, but you had to run vanillas, you had to work with tokens, and this archetype kind of feels like that, where you're forced to play vanilla monsters, but these cards are so powerful. Like, they're very adjusted to power creep in a positive way, which basically means like you're forced to play crappy vanilla monsters, but the payoff for running these cards is so high. Now at this time, it's like this archetype almost seems like a deck building archetype, because it's there's only one main deck monster, very like outletchy, and there are no extra deck monsters. So this isn't like a combo deck. You're not gonna be doing any crazy link plays. It's also not splashable, which I like. I mean, I am someone who loves archetypes that may make you play like some bad cards or have heavy restrictions if the payoff is genuinely high enough. I don't like splashable engines that like every deck can play, like Fiendsmith and stuff like that. Anyways, let's talk about Primordial. Let's start with their only main deck monster right now, although I'm pretty sure they'll probably get like another one in the future. This is Imperial Dragon, the Primordial Dragon. It's a level 6 Earth Dragon monster, because it has dragon in the name. 2600 attack, 0 defense. Now again, it tells you pretty much off rip you need to play normal monsters in this deck, because it requires 1 normal monster tribute to normal summon. So if you're not playing normal monsters, don't even bother playing this archetype. You can only use the first effect as a hard once per turn, which is during your opponent's main phase quick effect. You can reveal this card in your hand as a cost. Immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon 1 Primordial monster. So that kind of leaves the door open for more monsters, but also it means you can tribute summon this guy during your opponent's turn. So kind of similar to like True Draco a little bit, because True Draco used to be able to do that. Second effect is where things get kind of crazy. You get the disruption effects of this card. If this card is tribute summon, you can apply these effects in sequence. So the first one is negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls, which is crazy. That's basically just an instant skill drain on summon, or you could call that a Destiny Hero Plasma, but it's again one-sided, so it only affects your opponent. So yeah, basically Destiny Hero Plasma. Second effect, banish all monsters your opponent currently or your opponent controls with the same type and or attribute as any normal monsters in your graveyard, which is crazy because it's like, not only are you negating your opponent's plays or their monsters, but then you're also getting a potential banish. And I absolutely love the fact that it is not just type or that it's not just attribute, but it's both. So right now, I would definitely be trying to tribute fire dragons, because that would cover all the fire decks. Like if your opponent's playing Snake Eye or Rescue Ace, that would also cover Tempai. The dragons could also maybe cross hit some of the voiceless voice monsters. So that would definitely be very nice. And again, I love this card. It's like a tribute summon to your opponent's turn, and then you can get like double disruption, including like a crazy banish effect. You have kind of like the play starter. Usually this would be like a field spell, but it's a continuous spell. This is Primordial Imperial Ode. Continuous spell, first and third hard once per turn. When this card resolves, add 1 Primordial card from your deck to your hand, except another copy of itself. So again, feels very, it's a play starter, feels very reminiscent of what they do with most field spells. Second effect, normal monsters and Primordial monsters you control gain 300 attack for each normal monster in your graveyard with different names. So if you do use this card and you search the dragon and you tribute summon it during your opponent's turn, as long as this card's face up, your dragon's going to come out at least at 2900, assuming that your graveyard didn't get like, I don't know, defissured, or you're not under shifter or something like that. You have at least 1 normal monster in your graveyard. Third effect is also really nice. and really one of the power plays of this card outside of the Rhoda effect. You can declare one normal monster's name, special summon one normal monster with that name from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So from anywhere except the banished pile. Also, you cannot activate special summon monsters effects for the rest of this turn. I love this effect because, I mean, who's to say I don't just say Blue Eyes White Dragon? There's nothing on this card that says I can't summon it. I can't summon it in attack mode. There's nothing that says the monster can't attack. So yeah, I'm thinking you might want to play some high damage vanilla monsters. We have a lot of them in the game. The Fire Dragon vanilla pool is not the greatest, but it's still like a couple of them. I think like Reran is 2200 attack. So you have two excellent effects on this card where you have a Rhoda, and then you also have basically an emergency teleport for vanilla monsters, but there's no like restrictions on what the monsters can do. You just can't go into the extra that can be, using like monsters that are special summons effects. Next up, we got a couple of quick plays. We have the Primordial Tremors, which I forget exactly which dragon that is, but that's a dragon that's currently in the game. It's one of the old vanillas. You guys just post what that monster is. I totally can't think of its name off the top. Pay 2,000 life points, declare one normal monster's name, apply this effect. Then if you control no monsters, you can special summon one normal monster with the declared name from your deck in defense position. Once applied, your primordial monsters and normal monsters with the declared name cannot be destroyed by battle into the end of your opponent's turn. So basically, this card, very similar to the last card, at least that effect, it is just emergency teleport. The only thing is you get to keep the monster, do gotta pay some life points, and the monster is summoned in defense mode, so it's like probably not going to attack, but essentially it is just an emergency teleport. Second effect, which I love on this card, I love it so much, and this is like something that I do see kind of being a trend. It says if your opponent normal summons a monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one normal monster you control or in your graveyard, banish one monster on the field with lower attack. So I don't know if we want to call these disruptions like the Promethean Princess disruptions, but I feel like Konami is making more. This is becoming a trend because I know Solomon's new Blue Eyes card that goes with it, that goes with his Exodia stuff. I'll talk about that in another video. That kind of has an effect like that too. These cards that just sit in the graveyard and they wait for your opponent to summon something or to do one specific act, and then they just kind of activate and they, disrupt them, whether it be destroying one of their monsters or in this case, it's a banish. Now it is, again, very conditional because it is only on normal summon, but let's be real, who doesn't want a normal summon? Like, I would love to activate this card turn one and then basically just know that I have an instant disruption. I mean, maybe I don't get to use it at the best time ever, but will I take, banishing my opponent's Snake Eye Ash? Why not? It's a free disruption. I'll definitely take that. We have another quick play, as I just said. This is the Primordial Schiller. It's a quick play that both of the effects are hard once per turn. Reveal one normal monster or primordial card in your hand, except Primordial Schiller, so not another copy of itself. Then you can target one face-up card on the field, and if you control a normal monster or a level 5 or higher primordial monster, except the token, then you don't have to reveal a card. Negate its effects, and if you do, banish it. Second effect, during your main phase, if you control a primordial monster, you can set this card from your graveyard. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I know everyone says, Konami, get the Omni-negates out of the game, but this is an Omni-negate for the Archetype. You have a searchable Omni-negate, and I love these type of Omni-negates because, these are not the Baron de Flores or the Borreload Savage Dragons, which like every single deck can use this. This is Archetype specific. Like, you have to have a normal monster on field, or you have to have like a primordial card in your hand, or you got to have a primordial card on the field. So you're not playing this in other archetypes. I also love that it's not I guess per se the traditional Omni-negate where you have to, chain it directly to the card. This is more of the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss Omni-negate, where you're just activating it at any time you want, which means that this can negate something that's already active. You can use this on like a floodgate if your opponent has that. You can use it on a field spell. You can use it on a monster. And you do get to banish it, which is, generally speaking, one of the best forms of removal. outside of pretty much second only to like shuffling back into the deck. So this card is crazy, and it can reset itself. And when it resets itself, it doesn't even like banish itself. I fully expected it to banish itself. So this doesn't feel like a card you probably have to like max out on or anything like that. But I think that this is a card that will definitely help this archetype out. Like now you guys can kind of see the disruptions that you're getting. You know, your tribute monster has like a plasma effect, and then also can banish monsters your opponent has. You have an Omni-negate that banishes, and then you have kind of like a little bit of a watered down Promethean princess from the graveyard. So like I look at that, I'm like, bro, we got really good disruptions in this archetype for having to play crappy vanilla monsters. The trap card is probably the worst card, as trap cards tend to be in the archetype. This is the Primordial opener, which is a little bit ironic because it's not really like an opening type play or whatever, but it is a trap nonetheless. It says you can declare one normal monster's name. Apply this effect if you control no monsters. Special summon one normal monster with the declared name from your deck or graveyard. Once applied, you take no battle damage from attacks involving your normal monsters with the declared name and primordial monsters this turn. So it might actually be kind of decent against Tempai to like survive a turn. Second effect, during your opponent's turn, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Target one normal monster you control or in the graveyard. Take control of one monster your opponent controls with higher attack until the end phase. So it is also interesting that one of the cards that activates in the graveyard, it works on, you know, it kind of works best if you have a normal monster with low attack, and then the other one kind of works if you have one with high attack. So I don't think that they want you just running like one single vanilla monster and running 3 copies. I think they want you to mix it up a little bit, but I really love the idea that they're letting us pick whatever vanilla monsters that we want for this archetype. And again, I don't think the trap is anything special, but the first 4 cards all seem very cool to me, and I'm very excited. Again, I know that no one else, people probably not gonna watch this video because everybody's like, this is a boring archetype, but I am very much excited about this. Anyways, I'll do more card reveals, and you guys just come back here, look for those. Anyway, whatever you guys think about the Primordial archetype, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching as always.